Listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, this is Brad Niehaus, Product Development Manager for Johnstone Supply, the Ware Group. I just want to thank all of our key customers out there that are joining us today. I really appreciate it. Just want to reiterate that because I know that taking time out of your busy days is critical. I mean, every day, every minute is really dollars for you all, and we really appreciate the fact that you value our partnership enough to join this webinar. It's really what we're all here to do is make money. And in fact, our value proposition is to really save you time and make you money. And today we have our second webinar that we're hosting in regards to how to do that through digital and online technology. So as a HVAC contractor, how do you save time and make money? How do you market to your customers specifically and being growing your business the way you want to as our world changes more and more towards the digital aspect? So this is the second webinar that we're hosting in a series. All of these are recorded, so we'll have these available to you. If this is the first time joining, you can kind of go back to the first one. We'll be doing these typically on a bi-monthly basis. We'll make sure that we continue to communicate that out through constant contacts when our next webinar will be. But today's topic is going to be on website development. Again, this webinar series we partner with somebody that's uniquely designed to help you save time and money through digital technology. And Jen Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group, has partnered with us to help educate you guys in what that means for the HVAC contracting business in particular. What is website development? How do you design a website uniquely around our industry, and not just our industry, but the HVAC contracting industry, to help make you money and achieve your business goals? So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to her. But again, thank you for joining us today. We're going to continue to do this, and any feedback that you have is very welcome. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Jen Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group.
Brad, you rock. Thank you so much to everyone over at Johnstone Supply, the Ware Group. You guys are really, really committed to your dealers and helping them not just sell equipment, but build their business. And it always starts with the underlying question of, how do I get leads in the door? With seasons changing, you guys are in the neck of the woods. It's not like you're going to have a downpour of snow. I think on the first design, I did a seasons change layout, and I put snow on there intentionally. And this time I've got palm trees and sand and beaches, because I get it. You guys are in a position where the weather significantly impacts your business. You guys are constantly hustled and bustled, and people are contacting you on a regular basis trying to sell you Yelp and Yodel and Yellow Pages and White Pages and Dext, and you even have TV. I don't even know, Verizon calling you, trying to sell you a website. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough. You guys, in this presentation, I'm going to make sure that you are totally equipped with the core information that you need to have to properly design your website, to make sure you choose the right vendor. You're always welcome to choose us, of course. That's what we're here for. However, we're always going to make sure that you guys you know what questions to ask, because it's no different. I would say prior to becoming an expert in the HVAC world, changing an air filter in my air conditioning made my palms sweat. And if you saw what I did for a living, you'd laugh, because it literally made me nervous. And that's where you guys are. You guys are in this position where you have this big cloud, this thing over here of all this stuff. You've got a business to run, you've got time, you've got money, you've got quality, you've got your trucks, you've got your insurance, you've got staff you've got to keep busy, year round. You guys are managing inbound sales leads, trying to figure out how do you get quotes out and proposals out, how to make sure that your customers are happy, how to launch a maintenance program. Hopefully you guys are looking at recurring revenue and how to get your maintenance programs on auto billing, auto subscription, and all that can be done online through your website. It's not expensive. It's not complicated. This cloud of things you're responsible for as an owner, as a marketer, as a co-owner, as the chief bottle washer, where you are responsible for everything from the dollars in and out to building and growing your business. It is just a lot. I'll tell you, as yes, I'm the CEO of CI Web Group. We launched the company in 2006. We've been specializing in the HVAC industry. How long ago did we meet? Brad, how long ago did we meet?
It was roughly, I think it was 2007.
2007.
2007.
Yep.
2007, 2008, somewhere around that time frame.
Yes, I believe that's right. And from the time that we met, I actually went back and pulled, it was at a speaking event for a manufacturer, and I pulled that recording just out of curiosity to hear what I was talking about. And from the time you and I met till now, technology has skyrocketed. The use of technology, the data, the difference in how people search. I stand, as a speaker, it's awesome because I get to stand in front of all these audiences and I get to ask them, how do you shop? Get yourself out of your business for just a second and think about yourself as dad, husband, wife, daughter of the owner of the company and you're taking it over. Whatever your situation is, put yourself in a human position as the head of a household or a co-partner of a household and think about what you do, not as a marketer, not when you're trying to figure out what are your competitors doing and all of that, but when your kitchen sink breaks, you need a new roof, you want to install a pool, you need a new pair of Nikes, you're looking for a new computer, you're looking for Christmas presents. What do you do? And when you get yourself, we're almost the worst people to ask, the ones who are running our own companies, how people find services, how they make a decision, because we have this marketing hat all the time when the bottom line is when you get down to the nuts and bolts of today's environment, and it is different than when you and I met, you're looking at an entire group of people that literally shop two different ways. One, they Google it. How they Google it, it depends. If they have an iPhone, they may say, Siri, find me an HVAC company in blank. If they have a watch, I'll tell you, in the HVAC world, we have an entire industry that's not even ready for cell phones yet or smartphones. In our world, like that's just way, 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 way behind. Google put in a requirement in April of 2015. The digital marketing people call it mobile get-in. And basically it said that if your website is not designed mobile responsive, it doesn't mean your website shrinks down to this little tiny thing that you have to squish your fingers apart in order to be able to see the screen. That's not mobile responsive just because it displays all tiny. But if your website is not coded properly for mobile responsive websites, which it means it maintains aspect ratio, and I'm going to show you what that looks like and how to tell if your site's mobile responsive or not. If you're not there, Google is going through websites in buckets and batches and literally deranking them. So if you have been investing in search engine optimization, internet marketing, pay-per-click, and so forth, and you don't have a website that is current, meaning it has been designed within the last at least 12 months by a reputable agency that knows how to properly code a website based on Google's requirements today, you could literally lose the entire investment that you have in a matter of hours when Google pulls that batch of websites, evaluates them, sees that it's not responsive, and deranks that website, and it's just not worth it. In our world, we're not thinking about mobile. We've been there, done that for years now. I think everybody, it's more likely that someone's not wearing deodorant than not carrying their cell phone. I think I saw a statistic recently that said, I can't remember how many people they polled, but it basically said that it was 80% of the people would rather lose their car than lose their cell phone. So it's just a new world. In our world, we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about, I've got about 18 months from today, so depending on when you're watching this video, December of 2015, rolling into the new year. I have maybe 12 to 18 months to make sure that we know how to code and optimize a website for a 1-inch by 1-inch device, which I'm sure you guys see them all on television. It's Christmas time. Wearable devices, which is watches or smartwatches, that's coming. That's what's coming next. So I've stayed on this side for a long time. Here goes my OCD and ADD all in one shot. You have a tool that is either working for you, not working at all, or is hurting you right now. And it's important to figure out which one your website, which position your website currently is taking. It's no different than you guys evaluating the person answering your phones. If you have a receptionist sitting at the front desk and they are uneducated, they're rude, they're short, they don't have the right information, they're disorganized, they're difficult to understand, they're hurting you. If you have somebody that's sitting, filing their nails, posting on Facebook all day long, they're not working, which is also hurting you. If you have someone, so this is where this question comes in. If you had the biggest sales opportunity since you've been in business, what advice would you give that person or that sales rep if they're the one going and doing the presentation for you? So really, really think about this. Boil it down to people. You have the biggest sales opportunity of your life. What would you want that person who's going to be present? You don't get to go. You have to stay back. Maybe you're on vacation. You don't get to go. Someone else has to do this presentation. What would you want them to look like, sound like, present like? How would you want them to interact with the client? Because essentially every single day while you sleep, while you eat, whether you're training your staff, whether you're in an attic, taking care of a customer, whether you're paying bills, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you have a quote unquote person, your website, that is sitting online doing your sales presentations for you. So you have to bring it home, bring it down to reality. Your website technically is no different than a human being. You're going to want them to be organized. You're going to want them to look good. I can't make your website smell good. I don't have a scratch and sniff yet. I'm sure we'll come out with something like that, but you want them to be well organized. You want them to have quality content. You want them to be knowledgeable. You want them to be technically savvy. You want them to understand the client's needs and address those needs. The philosophy or the process of evaluating your website is no different than evaluating a person. No different. So that being said, I get stuck on these things. I get so excited about all this stuff. Okay, all websites not created equal. So let me go over the do not do list. Template. If it's a template, costs $39, you install it, it looks like everything else. I can show you one right now. I've seen the exact same website probably 15 times. It's a GoDaddy template. I just got called I just did a consult with somebody yesterday. He's like, I got to replace this site. I was like, no, we've already replaced it. I literally was like, I've already replaced this site. Who is this? It's the exact same website. The problem with templates is they're old, they're outdated, they were coded a long time ago, and they probably don't have a brain. It's literally like taking an outfit on a hanger, throwing it at your client, and going, speak. It doesn't talk. They don't work. Hope you like all my little analogies. Okay, next one, old and outdated. I brought that up, Brad, because I wanted to place some reference on the difference in what I was presenting and what I was saying in 2007 versus 2015. It is significantly different. If you go back 20 years, 30 years, 40 years versus just the last 5 years, I want you to think about the rate of technology advancements in the last 5 years compared to the last 20 years. It's hundreds of times greater in the last 5 years than if you took the last 20 or 40 or 50 years combined. So The challenge with that is when technology is advancing quickly, consumer habits are advancing quickly as well. So you have real people, age does not matter, where they're located does not matter. I promise you it doesn't. And there's no marketing agency that can throw up stats and charts and graphs and everything else and outweigh what I get to do, which is stand in front of a group of soccer moms and ask them how they shop. How do they buy? What is their interaction with technology versus real people? How often are they calling their friend Joanne and asking for a referral to a great HVAC company? I get to ask real people, and I would trust a soccer mom to tell me how they shop 100 times quicker than I would trust an ad agency that's throwing up all these stats and charts and figures and graphs. I want to talk to real people. So we're in an environment where your website probably has a life cycle of about 18 to 24 months. The day of building a site, letting it sit for 5 years and underperform for those 5 years, and then realizing, I probably should replace this, that's gone. Websites have to be designed in a growth driven methodology, which essentially means that you, or more importantly, your agency that is managing your website and your marketing and your SEO and your social media and all these things, they need to be evaluating that piece of technology every single quarter, looking at the data, looking at technology trends, looking at where Google is going and the requirements changes, and they need to be making changes on a regular basis because that data, the requirements changes, and people will tell you what you need to do different. There has to be some logic behind it. It's not a brochure. You can't print it, leave it out there, and go, the content's old, it needs updated. I know it says we're still at that address. We're not there anymore. No. It's like sending your salesperson to the wrong address to do a presentation to your biggest client. We can't do it. Okay, next, triple Fs. If you were in my audience, I'd have you guess. I just did this last week in California, and the first guess I got was awesome. Friends. Second one, family. That's an easy one. The third one, people get a little creative with. I'm going to go with fools. You might have felons or other terminology in your head. We have to stay away from the triple Fs. Your website is your greatest, most important asset. It should be your most important asset. You own. I see too many dealers, going with the free route. It's like having your buddy volunteer at your company. What are you going to get out of it? It doesn't work. These guys, I have a team of 60 people full time, spread all over the world. And I'm good at this. I live and breathe this. And every day I have different team members, different strategists, department heads that are contacting me and going, did you know this? And I'm like, geez, no. Every day I'm learning. So to have somebody volunteer to help you guys out, it's not worth it. The cost of doing it wrong far outweighs the cost of doing it right. I promise you that, because missed opportunities is the one thing you're not measuring. When you sit down and you're looking at your investments, and it's not expensive to get this done right. I promise you that. Plus Johnstone Supply, the Ware Group, they have a killer program with awesome benefits for you guys. It's not expensive to do this right. It's not complicated, and it's not going to take a lot of your time if somebody knows what they're doing. They understand HVAC, they know web, they know search, they know social. They can get it done right. So you want to stay away from the DIYs. For those of you that watch HGTV, this is the do-it-yourself bucket. As a business owner, my philosophy is very simple. I'm an entrepreneur. I've built, bought, sold, owned, and grown my own and other people's companies for the last 13 years. Prior to that, I was a VP at a corporation over the supply chain division. You have to make a list of the things that only you can do, and you've got to find perfection in the rest of the people and get it off your plate. So doing it yourself, having your wife do it, whoever's sitting at the front desk, your husband, whoever that is, it's a no-go. It's not going to work. Also, too technical. So a lot of times in the HVAC world, you guys are technical. I get it. You've got these big pieces of equipment. When you open the front of a furnace or the front of an air conditioner and it has all these wires and cords and electronic pieces and all this stuff is really exciting to you, consumers don't care. What a consumer cares about is the fact that they have a child with allergies and they have dust in their house or pets and it's hurting their asthma. They care about rooms are too hot or too cold. They care that they have condensation on their windows. They care that they just bought a new house and they think the system's really outdated and they don't want to go into summer being burning up. I mean, these are the things that they care about. They might have mold. So we have to get more into a consumer's head when it comes to the overall design of your site. And we've got to get a little less technical because a consumer's mindset is going to be very different than yours. You're a subject matter expert. I get that that stuff is important. That's more of a conversation between you and your distributor, you and your manufacturer, but not necessarily directly with the consumer. And plus, people's personality styles, they can't handle it. It's no different than some of you are going to tune me out when I get into the SEO webinar series because I'm going to go too technical. I'm going to try not to, though. Same thing with difficult to navigate. If it's hard for a client to get around, they're going to be out of there. Poor navigation, the site is not optimized, you don't have content. Content is no different than your ability to speak. Organizing your content, navigation, that is your ability to present information in a format that it's easy for people to understand, easy for people to ask a question and get the information that they need and make a decision, a buying decision. In the HVAC world, this is not one of your top skill sets. I absolutely love you, but not so much. So I want to make sure that we get that taken care of. So the biggest piece is, you got to hire smart, and I get it. You don't know what questions to ask. You don't know who to trust. You've possibly been burned. It's very, very difficult to find somebody that is not born and raised in the HVAC world and all of a sudden decided to do a website. So they know HVAC, but they don't know digital marketing or marketing at all. And the vice versa is you got somebody that knows design, but they can't develop, or you have somebody that's a developer, but they don't know design, or you have a designer and a developer partnering together to build you a new website, and they're not analytical thinkers, so they don't think like an SEO person. Every one of these individual people, and I could only put 7 or 8 on here, out of what a normal team would consist of, which is around 12 to 16 people are on any individual project that we do. We have design coordinators, chief strategists. A chief strategist, this is not somebody that's a web person. This is somebody who has built businesses. They know operations, logistics, they know costing, they know product development, they know sales, business development. They're going to be able to figure out, where do you want to go with your business? Are you trying to grow into new areas? Are you trying to build up your residual through your maintenance programs? Are you trying to retire and sail off into the sunset and go lay on this beach with an umbrella in your drink? They're gonna they're gonna know what you're trying to do, and they're going to be able to properly prioritize all these different people because these are also subject matter experts. They are amazing as a team, amazing when managed by a project manager, very dangerous individually because they all believe that their area is most important, and it doesn't work that way, and you guys can't manage these guys. It requires somebody that understands business and your goals, a project manager to coordinate all of the details, and it's almost like putting your attorney and your financial planner and your CPA in a room. Let them duke it out, figure out what the best solution is, and go from there. And that's really what you want to do. So hopefully we can help with that. How do you know what to do? There's basically 3 different groups that you guys are having to listen to. Well, I'll say 4. And I didn't put them on this PowerPoint. But the first one is you guys got to listen to salespeople. You might be a salesperson, so I'm not trying to offend you. Salespeople are interesting. They often have a catalog of wares and tears that they sell, and they only know how to sell within the bucket or list of products in their bag. And that's what they do. They're trained to sell out of a catalog or out of, this bag of tricks. doesn't mean they know business. And it doesn't mean they're the subject matter experts on any of the things that they sell either. And that's tough. So you guys have salespeople walking into your office and calling you on the phone. You probably have around 30 phone calls a month from somebody who says they work for Google. Google's never going to call you. So we got to avoid all that. The next bucket is you guys are talking to each other. And that's okay if you guys were in an industry that was a high performing industry with great, great results. But as a whole, the contractor industry as a whole is relatively far behind when it comes to web and digital marketing. And it's a generational business. So we still have generations that are handing down strategies that may have worked 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, and so forth. And we're continuing to do what we know and what we've always done. And that's a challenge as well. So you want to be careful when you're at industry meetings and you guys are having conversations with each other. It's kind of a showboating time, and that's tough. You don't want to make decisions fully on that as well. Next, you have this one. I love these people. These are consumer focus groups. We don't go 1 month without a consumer focus group. This is my soccer moms I was talking about. The great part about consumers is they're going to tell you what they want. All you got to do is listen. It's relatively incredible to listen to them. So it hurts. I will say that when we build sites, we do focus groups, we show them different things, and we ask their feedback and opinions. And when we've really, 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 really loved something, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" It's like in the stomach. But we have to do this. We have to ask these people because they're really who matters. The rest of it, normally I would put on here a growth hacker. A growth hacker is going to be highly experienced. They are going to understand data, and they are going to understand 3 different elements. Well, 4 different elements. What does the customer want, and what do you want? What do you have as available resources? So they'll understand budget, and they're going to understand time. And when you look at all of those things, a growth hacker is going to analyze all of that information, come up with a prioritized way to be able to maximize your results and get you to the point where if you increase your investment by $30, it's going to increase your sales by X dollars. And you guys, I don't have to tell you, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So that being said, there's some basics that are just fundamentals that need to be inside an HVAC site. These, if you were having somebody custom design these, I can see how this would look expensive. Again, it's not because we focus on this industry. We're able to build all of these awesome bells and whistles and applications and give them to all of our dealers because we have a lot of them. So again, don't get stuck in the Jesus looks expensive. So the first area is the header of your website, which is everything right at the top. You guys, this is your golden area. It's either working for you, not working, or working against you. One of the 3. Inside your header area, these are really, really important things. And I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to show you. So in this site, actually, let me back up. So I'm going to go to sites that were built at different times. So 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. The knowledge that we have gained in that time frame, just in a 6-month time frame, because the sites went live about 6 months ago, has changed so much. It's amazing because, again, it's consumers. So in this site, what you do see is you see who they are, what they do very clearly. So if you guys have, and I know I'm going to get to the navigation piece, but if you guys have a page that says heating and cooling, those are 2 different times of the year, 2 different pieces of equipment, and a consumer's issue is totally different being the time of the year, the problem, and that it's a different piece of equipment. One they're trying to get warm, the other one they're trying to get cool. They can't go on the same page. If you have a page that says our services, again, that's another area where people get stuck. So in a nutshell, you guys provide pretty much the same things. Your business model may be different. You may focus more on service and repairs. Some of you may focus more on installations, retrofits, and installations. But in a nutshell, you guys in the air conditioning world, especially where you're located, are doing AC repair, AC service, AC maintenance, AC installation, AC replacements, AC retrofits, and I think I said AC tune-ups. In the heating world, you're probably doing more tune-ups just because of location, and hopefully getting people going on maintenance programs when you're in your off season. But in a nutshell, it's the same thing: repair, installation, service, replacement, maintenance, and tune-ups. And then you may have other services that you do as well. So depending on your business model, you may service different people. You may do new construction, residential, light commercial, full commercial, rural, depending on where you're at. Those things need to be taken into consideration as well. But what you're going to notice in this site, who they are, what they do, where they do it, and how to reach you. These are immediates. They have to be. This is your money area of your site. This is where the majority of activity happens. If you go and you're randomly going through really big websites, you'll notice the logins, the signups, the buy nows, the check your carts. All those things are in the top right-hand corner of a website for a reason, because most people are right-handed. They tend to, their eyes and their navigation tends to go over to this area, and it's kind of an industry standard. So this is what they're used to doing. Other things that are important, you guys have call to actions. If you do emergency service, that's important. If you have financing available, that's important. If you have a sign up for your maintenance plan, that's important. So all of these things are going to change. Now, everybody's a little bit different when it comes to how do I reach you? And the one thing you want to really, really focus on or not focus on is your personal preference. In marketing, if you are thinking about what do you like personally, that can really throw you off, because you're not trying to sell to yourself, and you have all these different personalities and all these different preferences, and they believe as strongly against you as you believe in what your philosophy is. So we have to be careful. All phone numbers. If you have a phone number on the site, it's got to be a click to call. There is nothing worse than being on your cell phone, needing help with something, going to a website, the website pulls up, and you're tapping the front of your phone like a madman, and you're like scrolling down to the bottom. One of these numbers has to actually make my phone dial. That will have somebody talking to the top of their car, the roof, and that's one of those moments where some people will want to throw their phone right out the sunroof as they're driving down the highway. It drives people crazy. So that has to happen. So click to call. It's an external protocol. Any web company should be doing that now. Other things, there's some people that are not going to call. So for lots of reasons, when you're looking at somebody's schedule, they're busy. So they happen to have this task that is not their favorite thing to do. They're not looking forward to having to take care of whatever it is they need to do with you. They don't want to spend 15 grand, 16 grand on a high energy efficient piece of equipment, as exciting as it might sound. That's not exciting to them. They don't want to have to call for service or maintenance or any of those things. It's just a task. So if they're at work and it's a quick call, they happen to be doing some Googling, they look around, they find your site, you're on page 1 of Google for a phrase that they're looking for in an area that they're looking for, boom, they're going to come to your site. If you don't make it very, very simple for them to be able to schedule time to talk to you in the future, that can cause problems. So an online scheduling system where somebody can come to the site, they can say, I need to talk to somebody about scheduling service or attic insulation. You probably don't like to do that. Most people don't. Heating service, and so forth. You can set up as many services as you want. The customer gets to come and say, okay, I don't have time to talk today. I can talk to you at 3 o'clock here. I can talk to you at noon on my lunch break on Thursday. They can fill out their information, shut it down. You and the customer are both going to get notified you guys have an appointment to talk in the future on their lunch break. And so we just made it convenient for them. So that's something to consider as well. You want to make it as convenient as possible. Social media links, these are a big deal. People, I'm not saying you're going to get a ton of business off social media. I have clients that do, but they participate with us. Social media is a necessary evil. We'll have an entire training on that, but essentially people want to know, are you available? Are you alive? Social media, your website, they can't tell if you're actually alive, kicking and in business. Your social media site, they can. You either posted 12 years ago, 12 months ago, or 2 hours ago. And there's a big difference in the way people feel about you depending on which one they see. The other thing is you want to make a home for your customers. So the way to make a home for your customers can go a couple different ways. So one, you'll see in this site, same thing. Who we are, what we do, where we do it, click to call, that's an option. Schedule service, that's a home for your clients. That's something that they are familiar with. They already know you, they want to schedule service and so forth. Very different than online estimate. And I'll tell you the language on these buttons, it's taken us a long time to figure this out. Free quote versus will beat any quote versus get a quote. We have had a tremendous amount of success with online estimate, and this is the drive-through mentality. These are everybody wants things faster. If they think they can actually get an estimate by telling you how many square feet their house is, how many rooms they have, what year their house was built, how many units they have, what's important to them, all of those details you need on a sales call anyway, they're going to fill it out. They actually like filling them out. So this is working really well. The other area to make a client feel at home is a My Account area. So anybody that's ever communicated with your website in this environment, the conversions are going to be much, much greater if you have this kind of application on your site. Again, not expensive. A customer can come to your website or a prospect. They can go to their activity. They can see how many conversations they've had with you, any appointments they have had scheduled with you, what's upcoming in the future. They can schedule now. They can leave their details. They can also view documents. So if you can imagine being able to present to your customers the fact that you're going to digitize all their records. So their quote, it's going to be sent through their account system online, their estimate. You can ask them to send you a picture. So imagine being able to see a picture of their unit before you ever go out there, or actually get a picture of their attic or their duct sizing or whatever their issue is. They can actually just go to the site, click on share document, and they can upload a document, send it right to you. Imagine the efficiency that's going to create in your business. So that's a whole nother business process. But in addition to that, a big deal when it comes to the document sharing is let me see if I have an account on here. Customers, if they're not on a maintenance program, they unfortunately have to change their own filters. I don't know if you probably don't know because you live in this world. That's like a huge headache for the average family. Every time they go to Home Depot, every time they go to Costco, every time they go to the store, they walk in and they're like, shoot, the filters. I can't even remember the sizes. I don't know what brand I need to get and so forth. Something as simple as getting your text to take a picture of the filter with the size and the specifications on it, upload it to the system, and to be able to tell your clients, you guys, you're going to forget and you're going to need to know what it is. I'm going to save you time. When you're out and about, just go to your phone, go to my website, and click on the My Account area. You can go look in your documents. We went ahead and took a picture of your unit. We took a picture of the instructions, and we also posted a picture of your filters. It has everything that you need on there. That is going to drive traffic to your site, retention. Those customers are never going to forget you. The day and age of all of your customer data only sitting in your QuickBooks account. No, we can't do it. You got to be able to contact these people. So this system obviously has a huge back office behind it where you can do group emails, mass emails. If you guys have a storm coming, you can actually send a message out to all of them. And you can say, hey, you guys, tropical storm blank is on its way. Don't worry, we're here, we're open. You guys have our hotline. This is for emergency service. You can also schedule right from your phone. Here's the link to our scheduling system. Little things like that. All right, that being said, so this kind of gives you some ideas. One of the things that's came up recently, customers want to know that A, you want reviews, and B, you're public with your reviews. So out of all the review system, and this is a whole nother training again, Google places your Google business listing. A, it's free to get a Google business listing. This has the most weight on your largest lead generation activity. So the greatest lead generation activities, if I was going to prioritize them, number one, make sure your website's right. All the call to actions, it's set and designed to convert. Number two is going to be, you need to be page one, position one for your primary services in your primary areas, period. And number three is pay-per-click. Then we're going to go into all these other things that you may be investing in. Some of those other things like social media, local listings, reviews monitoring, some of those things are actually going to support your SEO program, and then they become more important, but they're not going to be big drivers of new business. If you're paying for leads or one-time activities or still sending out mailers and flyers and so forth, those are all things that are, you're kind of burning and churning through dollars. Instead of leveraging those dollars in something that's going to build your business year over year over year and give you compounding results. So reviews are a big deal. Don't send them to Angie's List, please. You don't want to send people to give you reviews on a website that you have to pay to be a member to see them on, unless you have somebody that's going in there, taking those reviews off, copying them over, making them into some pretty graphic, posting them on your social sites, optimizing them on your website, and then sending them out to all your social media or all your local listing sites. So that sounds like a big process, but we do that with our eyes closed. That's technically what would have to happen in order to make those reviews actually be leveraged assets instead of sitting in this closed space. So this has been something, all of our newer sites, that's been something that we've really been focused on, because that tends to be something consumers are really it's important to them. So that being said, I just got through the header. We're going to get through this. So reviews, I covered that. Promotions, rebates, you guys have different kinds of deals. You guys have your own promotions. You've got specials during the fall and spring. You need to be talking about tune-ups and maintenance during the winter. You need to be going into, your 5 days of furnace repair and installation. Just kidding. But summer right now, you guys got to be prepping for summer, obviously. In the SEO world, right now is when you should be totally focused on getting this stuff done, especially where you're located, so that by the time summer comes around, you guys are ripping and ready to go, already ranking. In the promotions area, you also have manufacturer rebates. You also have federal tax credits and incentives for high efficiency systems. So organizing this information into graphical, beautiful graphics where people can look at it and instantly see it's pretty and it looks good and it matches your branding and it looks nice, that's important. Don't throw a bunch of text on a page and make people read. People, remember, everybody's busy. They don't want to read all your text. Google reads your text. People look at pretty pictures. Financing. We got to make sure people can apply for financing. Don't send them straight to the bank. Please collect their information before you send them over to the bank. I just had a conversation with somebody who actually is his own bank with a few $100,000 in checks sitting on his desk. There are ways to go about getting the financing program. Same thing with your maintenance program. You don't have to have a free maintenance program. Sign up for our Comfort Club. You actually can charge for it. And people love simplicity. There is a large audience of people that absolutely does not care about having a small monthly fee taken out of their credit card to know that their water's being delivered every week, to know that their pest control people are spraying for, I don't know what kind of bugs you have there, crickets, June bugs in Texas, spiders and ants in Washington, just covered half the states. They like doing that. So why not? You guys need residual income. You need to build a base. If you've been in business for 20 years and you've got a database, or you don't have a database, you have a QuickBooks account with thousands of records. Just imagine if all of those records, you had got them onto a maintenance program. This is one of those things you'll kick yourself for not doing earlier. Make it available. Let the consumer choose. If you're highly against monthly fees because that's not your personal preference, cool. Then make the option for them to, you can send them an invoice once a year and go through the billing process and collection process and reselling the client year over year over year. You can absolutely do that, but also make available the ability for them to sign up online, drop in their credit card, choose the plan they want, and they know that all of their filters are going to be changed. They know they have emergency care, priority care for emergency calls. They know that they don't have to change the batteries in their smoke detectors. I'm getting creative. All right, FAQs, terminology, and troubleshooting. These three things were actually designed with a big purpose. The challenge with building a gorgeous website is because when you have a gorgeous site and it really stands out to the consumer as very professional, they know what they're doing, and I have all the information at a glance without going anywhere else on the site. The problem with that is they make a decision to do business with you very quickly. They throw everybody else out the door and they leave your site. So we have to get creative because you having visitors to your site that are only there for a matter of seconds before they make a decision is also not healthy for your SEO plan. So things like an FAQ area, a terminology area, these are things we pre-built to keep people, to try and get them to stick around. Unfortunately, HVAC's not that exciting where they're going to come to your site and read your blogs on Saturday. So we have to get creative. This one actually served two purposes. So let me give you an idea on how this works real quick. This is a demo site we use for development, so it's not anybody's site. So on here, this is where we develop different things. So this is a troubleshooting system. This serves two purposes. One, it keeps consumers on your website longer, which you need that to support your SEO plan, which is to get you on page 1 of Google for your key phrases in your areas. Number two, the worst thing you can have is bad reviews. So we monitor thousands of websites for our clients' reviews, and the worst thing we can do is be working so hard to get a great ranking, and then all of a sudden you get a negative review, and it's for something as simple as, I just saw this the other day. I am so mad this guy came out to my site, or came out to my home, and next thing I know, he was changing a battery in my thermostat, and I got a bill for $79. I've seen $89, I've seen $129, I've seen $139, I've seen them all over the board. And all he did was change the battery. This is ridiculous. The problem is that review is permanent on Google, and it takes a company so much effort to get it moved. The only thing we can do is suppress it and try and move it down. We can't remove it. Google's is really unforgiving. So this is going to help your customers. You always want to tell them. So I know you're having an issue. Have you tried our troubleshooting system yet? Check it out. And just make sure that it's not an easy fix that you guys could do on your own. So don't be worried about not getting the business or the service call. It's more important to avoid the negative review and to have a happy person that's going to come back to you the next time because you were so kind in helping them through the process. So something as simple as they can go in, they can say, I'm having a problem with my AC. My AC isn't working. This can be caused by your thermostat. Make sure your thermostat's on, make sure your batteries are good, make sure it's set 3 degrees below room temperature. Turn to cool, not fan or heat. Did that solve your problem? No. So they keep going. Maybe your air filter's dirty. Check your air filters. Is it dirty? No. Is your outdoor unit running? No. Maybe your AC circuit breaker's been tripped. Check your box. Make sure the one labeled air conditioner, flip it off, flip it on. Did it work? Nope. So you're going to keep walking them through this process. Is there air coming out of your vents? No, I'm just having a really bad day here. Is there ice on your unit? No, I'm in Florida. Sounds like you need an expert. So in this scenario, it went through and uh, it's going to take them through a different process depending on what the issue is. So this is really important because you need the clients to stay on there and you need them to try and resolve it if it's a simple issue. If it's not, it's going to convert into a lead where they can schedule their appointment, repair appointment, or maybe they already have it scheduled and they can keep the one they already have. So that's the troubleshooting piece. Social media, I already talked about that. They want validation. A blog, like I said, people are not going to come in and read your blog, but Google cares about three things. This is going to all come out in the SEO training series that we have coming up. Are you relative? That's how are things labeled. Are you current? That's how frequently you're posting new content. And are you trusted? That's third-party websites. So when you hear me talk about local listings, social media, review sites, all of those things are you trusted? When you hear me talk about content and SEO, now we're in blog. So you got to have them. They're necessary evils. Just remember when you're in this process, you have two people to please. You have one that's a human being that has four distinct personality styles, and that's can usually be called bipolar or multiple personality disorder, but that's people. And you have another one that is totally unforgiving. All it is a robot, and it works via math. Once you understand the math, marketing's an easy game. So, scheduled service online estimate. We talked about that in the very beginning. I talked about customer issues. You guys, address those up front. Make sure they understand that they have an issue. They don't know if they need service or repair or any of that. They just typed in what they thought would find them an HVAC company, and we got to address them. Next thing, service areas. You have to have one page minimum per city and community that you guys want to get found in. If you don't have a page in Google, you're not going to go in that drawer. And all Google is a giant filing system, just like the filing cabinets in your office, that has green hanging folders with labels on them. It has manila envelopes in there with labels on them. And if the labels are bad and they say something like our services, about us, um, heating and cooling. Heating and cooling is an action. It's something you do versus air conditioner, furnace, or heater. Those are pieces of equipment. So anyway, all those things are very important. So content management systems, you guys, hands down, WordPress is the largest content management system. You can edit it, you can change it. We build just a killer platform. So we've literally gotten to the point where we have to have our base platform inside WordPress built in modules because you guys are all different and need wildly different things. And we've got to get it, we have had to build a platform that literally in October, when our social media guys are all excited about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they send out a notice to all our HVAC dealers and say, hey, would you like a Breast Cancer Awareness Month campaign on your social sites? And the client responds back and said, yes, also, can you make my website pink for the month? That the benefit of this kind of platform is we can actually do that. We can actually build it so that it's modularized. So literally, if you want to go pink for the month of October, absolutely. In fact, if you want to make it snow because you don't have any for the month of December, we can do that too. Headers, we've talked about this. This is just a summary. The must-haves, who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to rate you. The how to reach you needs to include my account area, schedule service, online estimate, and click to call. All the phone numbers have to be click to calls. So I've already been looking at sites. We looked at Countryside. We looked at Air Care. Humphreys, you kind of see the similar things. So you'll see who we are, what we do, where we do it, how to reach you, leave us a review, click to calls. We already looked at this one. This is a great site. The thing I love about these guys is they went really personal. Let me see. I did bring them up. Okay, so they're still in development, so their site's not done yet. You'll see it says .sales supply chain. So number one, this guy has a killer truck. So we took his truck, cropped it out of his driveway, threw a logo on it, and it's hot. That truck looks good. You got to make sure that if you guys have your trucks wrapped, vans wrapped, and so forth, they have to be clearly on your website. You'll probably see them on every website we do somewhere like this. Because you got to bring that brand home. They got to see it. Little things, we did a little jingle on this one. This totally different. Instead of the troubleshooting system I showed you before, we did videos. And these are little tips that he went through and said, if you're having a problem, here, I'll just show you a quick little clip so you can see what I mean. And you can also see how long somebody's going to sit on the site.
First item is your thermostat. Is the screen blank? If it is, try changing the batteries. Next, regardless of the type of thermostat, check to make sure it is set at the heat mode and that the temperature is set at a higher level than your current house temperature.
So this is what I mean. We've got to be different. We need to keep people on the site. We also want them to make a decision fast. So you're kind of in a catch-22. With that, you guys, just kind of in summary, you have your hands full. I get it. All of these things I keep referencing, making sure your site's designed, your development is done properly on your site, it's mobile responsive, your web, your search, your social, your content, all that stuff. The challenge is when you are outsourcing it to 30 different companies, you now become, your hands get fuller because you're managing 30 different agencies, all doing different things, not talking to each other, not leveraging assets, not working together with a cohesive strategy. So if you can bring it under one umbrella, that's definitely going to help. It's going to remove some pressure off you, and you've got to have someone that can take the lead on that. They've got to know your business, know you from a personality style. You may hate technology. I totally know guys like you. Or you may love it or just do it because you know you have to. Whatever the case is, they need to know you, where you're going to go, how they're going to get you there, and they need to run these people because there's a lot of different moving pieces to this whole marketing thing. And, the more upfront you can be, what are you guys currently investing in? How can you trim the fat? What's working, what's not working, and so forth? That's going to be something that's important as well. So the process is pretty simple. So I'm going to blow through this. With Johnstone Supply, we have a program set up where you guys can sign up for an absolutely complimentary. This right here, just this piece is 2 hours of our time. The SEO evaluation is about another hour. The local listings is about 15 minutes. That's not difficult. We've got a cool tool for that. Because of all the energy Johnstone Supply, the Ware Group, Brad, his sales team, they're all putting into trying to make sure you've got an incredible training program and you guys are properly positioning yourselves to grow. They have negotiated a sweet deal for you guys to be able to go through this. Knowledge is power. This is totally free. This session is actually going to be with me. You'll do an interview with a consultant. They'll get me the information I need. We'll do the strategy session together. I promise I won't talk too long or too much or give you a headache. I'll make sure it's fun. And just for signing up for this session, you guys will also get a complimentary listing on CIHVAC, which is our dealer directory, absolutely free, forever, no questions asked, no matter what. So it's simple to sign up. You guys can go to ciwebgroup.com. We have that little button at the bottom that says schedule and choose free strategy session, and that's it. Brad, it's all you.
Yeah, no, that was great. As always, you go from beginning to end, and I'm amazed that we don't have to. Somebody's got to be supplying you some oxygen or something. So I appreciate the passion, and one of the things that we're passionate about is we just see the change in the marketplace, and we know this is necessary. So, I read something recently that said, 70% of the buying decision today is made before the company is ever really called. 70%, it's called the Google Zero Moment of Truth. So 70% of what is a person going to buy from you or not is made before they ever even pick up the phone and dial your number, and that's because they're online. Most of that buying decision is already made before at the online and digital level, and that's weird. And yes, you can lose it, and that 30% is certainly palpable. What you do offline matters, but conveying what you do offline online is what's even more important, because you need to do the great work offline and then convey it online, because they're making those decisions now. And if you can convey the great things you do offline online, you can win that 70%, and you're over halfway there. That number actually is projected to go up, I think, to like 90% by 2018 or 19. So it's going to just get more and more crazy, more and more as the younger generations become more and more larger buyers and into that money market. It's going to continue to change, but it doesn't mean what you do offline doesn't matter. It just means you have to find a way to convey what you do offline, your service installation, your quality of what you do online. And I think that's why your website is so important, and I'm really glad that we have partnered with Jen, because she understands the industry, she understands your business, but she also understands how to navigate the change that we're seeing, and our industry is no different. So appreciate again your time. Appreciate just the fact that you felt it was worthwhile to get online. But please take advantage of the things that are here, the strategy session. If you have an interest, I've seen the work that's been done in other markets. Known her for even predates my my current employment with the Ware group. I've seen it happen in other markets. The work that she's done when she's partnered up with contractors. That's why we brought her here. Please take advantage of it. If nothing else, just use it to go back to who you're working with, and really take a strong hard look. We want you guys to be positioned the best, because you're partners with us. So thanks for the time, Jen. Thank you all for your time, and happy holidays. We won't have another one until January. We'll be sending out that communication shortly, but thank you for just the great opportunity to showcase this in front of you, and hopefully we'll continue to go through these and find some continued success.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Bye, everyone.